What is going on YouTube? Lindy Endzone is back again with another video. So, what I want to try and do from this point forward is kind of do a little bit condensing on my content. And in my opinion, I think my video is carrying on a little bit too long. And in order to help me get to the point and just get my overall view across, I'll try and make these a little shorter, just to keep you guys engaged. So without further ado, I needed to get some Mavericks stuff out of the way. First off, I'm gonna combine this between my Mavericks and the Eagles, because there's quite a lot going on in Philly, and I do want to get that addressed. But so unfortunately, my Mavericks took another L. Right now, our record is as good as the Cleveland Cavaliers of all teams, one of the lowest ranked offenses in the league. And no matter how you look at it, as of right now, we're not one of the healthiest teams in the NBA. Mostly due to the fact of COVID protocol. Our 4 remaining guys that have yet to join the team still aren't back. Dwight Powell, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and wow, the 4th guy is slipping my mind right now. But they're still stuck in protocol. The last I heard, Rick Carlisle has said that they have been progressing very well in their workouts, and they're hoping at some point this week they are going to get these guys back. Which leads me to the next point of the starting lineup that was supposed to be implemented. The guys did not play a single minute together. So, that's chemistry disruption, and just feeling each other out, trying to figure out how well you can do on a basketball court. So, with that being said, yep, they took another loss. This time it was at the hand of the Denver Nuggets. It was a fairly close game. But it just didn't seem close. The Mavs, as they usually do, well, I'll say often do in games, they like to trail by 10 to 13 points pretty consistently. And, part of that's due to cases of a lack of defense, and another part is, just not hitting timely shots. And in this case against Denver, it was allowing Michael Porter Jr. to come off the bench and score 30 points. Yeah. 30 points from Michael Porter Jr. and 17 from, I think, that's not JaMychal Green. I can't think off the top of my head, but he chipped in 17. So you're looking at 47 bench points between 2 players. Yeah, that doesn't scream top 10 defense. But at the same time, they held Gary Harris to only 10. Dirty Murray, as I'm calling him for this point in time, since he decided to be a dirty player and inflict a uncalled for groin shot on Tim Hardaway Jr. in the 3rd quarter, and he was then charged with a flagrant 2 after a review by the referees, and he was ejected. Dallas held him to only 16. Nikola Jokic was okay for the most part. He finished 20 and 10 with 4 assists off of 34 minutes. Paul Millsap didn't do anything. He only had 2 points. and Will Barton only had 6. So they managed to keep the starters in check, but when, like I said, when you allow somebody to come off the bench and score 30 points in 28 minutes, that's not a good recipe for quality defense. So, yeah, like I said, this is just continuing to be a detriment of an unhealthy team where your projected starting 5 going into the year has not played a single minute of NBA basketball together. So, you're working with what you have. 3 rookies are being thrown into the fire, having to, play competitive regular season basketball in a shortened season of 10 fewer games. Yeah. So, but Porzingis did not have, and he's been up and down. He only shot 6 of 18 from the field. He had too many 3-point attempts to my liking, that number being 8, and he only made 1. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. But again, I still feel that there's a mismanagement with his injury right now. He's on the bench resting one game, and then he's back playing over 30 minutes in another, like on and off, on and off. You have to ease him in a little better. It's just you're kind of being a little extreme with it. You can't expect a guy to you can't expect a guy to be consistent. Managing him like that. Luka had a better game than the last couple, definitely. Finished 35, 11, and a season high 16 assists. He was perfect from the free throw line with 10 out of 10. He shot pretty decent from 3. He was 3 for 8. And I remember in a couple of videos back, I said that I would prefer Luka to stay under 10 3-point attempts. He seems to be a little more efficient that way, and lo and behold, that's pretty much what happened. He didn't shoot particularly well from the field. He was 11 of 23. Typically, when you're talking about a point guard / shooting guard at the caliber of Luka's talent and future potential, you want them to shoot, on average over 50% from the field, which he is in the mid-range. He's got 50% or 57% mid-range, but overall, he's got to be a little more. He's got to be a little more efficient. So, with that game, he tied Michael Jordan for the 8th most 30-point triple-doubles in NBA history. It's kind of big and it's kind of not. I mean, Jordan wasn't really meant to be that triple-double impact player. There was a point in time back in '89 where he was experimented at the point guard position, and I think I want to say it was in a span of 11 or 12 games or so. 7 of those games, he recorded a triple-double. So, I mean, that's one of those things where we may never know. But in any event, any time where you're in the area of a record, especially with that name, in my opinion, who is the greatest player ever. When you're in that spot, when you're next to that guy, and remember, people, Luka's only 21 years old. He's 21 years old doing this in the NBA. I don't know, man, but all in all, I feel that he's going to pick up his game at the right time, especially with going into this season. He was a tied for the most odds to win the MVP with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and as of right now in the current MVP voting, he's 10th. So we kind of want to get him, up there a little bit. So yeah, I mean, so long as we get out of this injury slump / protocol slump, I'm hoping we do better than the ninth or 10th seed in the West. We got to make the playoffs. We got to make the playoffs with a healthy Porzingis and advance past the first round. Especially even if we make it to a conference final, which very difficult in this Western Conference, especially with the Lakers and Clippers, leading the group. So that leads me into some Eagles talk. Got some stuff up here on my laptop at the moment that I wanted to review. So, man, I did not think that the previous year's youth movement, when Howie Roseman talked about it in the draft, that he wants to get younger and he wants to get faster. From a player perspective, I did not see this. I did not see this as far as coaching goes. And three of these new guys coming in are in their mid to late 30s. I like it. I mean, when Jeffrey Lurie was talking about his transition at the press conference, he, obviously he was looking long term with these kind of moves. So as of right now, biggest guy, Nick Sirianni, our head coach. Shane Steichen was hired, I believe, on Monday to be the offensive coordinator, formerly from the Los Angeles Chargers. Jeff Stoutland still is staying, thankfully, as the offensive line coach and the run game coordinator, so he keeps his position. Kevin Patullo was brought in as a passing game coordinator. Defensive coordinator, as we know, is Jonathan Gannon, and then our new defensive line coach, which kind of hints to Matt Burke's departure, or who knows if he's retained. No word on that yet, but from the looks of it, he might be going elsewhere. For all we know, maybe he could follow Deuce Staley and Dave Phipp. Maybe he could follow them to Detroit. Never know. But our new defensive line coach is Tracy Rocker. So I'm sure that I will personally kind of pay a little more attention to the developing news with the organization, like especially when the introductory conference comes out for Sirianni. I'm gonna be glued to my screen, listening to every single word that he has to say. Because this is huge for the organization. It's a brand new beginning, and I personally, I can't wait to see where we go from here, because this can't be the only Lombardi that the Philadelphia Eagles earn. With that said, I kind of slacked on on my collection of Jordans. I got a special pack for y'all today. I also picked these up off of somebody, and the reason they're special is, I think, mostly due to their age, because both shoes came out around 2008, 2009, so they got some pretty good age to them. Back then, they sold what was called these countdown packs. They were special packs released. They came in a nice box like this. Lost one of the shoes because I wanted to kind of show the Jumpman on the top. But without further ado, let's get into these. So the first pair I got, not one of the more popular ones, especially with the flap that goes over top of the sneaker. And if you know what I'm talking about with the flap, then obviously you're going to recognize the Jordan 16. So I got the bread 16, meaning black and red. And yeah, you wouldn't think by looking at them that they're as old as they are, and I was very grateful to come across these. As you can see, I took the flap off, and the flap basically, the way it works is it's kind of a sleeve. It's kind of a sleeve that it goes over the shoe, and I don't exactly remember how it goes on because it's been a while since I had them off or had them on. But yeah, so I took them off, and the shoe does look good. It looks better without. It looks better without it. Yeah, like I said, not a particularly popular design of a Jordan shoe, but you know, you can't go wrong with a bread colorway. As iconic as it is, you can't go wrong. So, shoe number 2, one of my personal favorites. Not just because of the colorway, but because of the way the shoe fits and just how it looks. Oh boy, yeah. every time I look at them, and I've wanted this pair for a long time, and especially with the new releases, they're kind of difficult to get your hands on, especially at a cheaper price. But the Hair Retro 7 for Space Jam, of course. Bugs Bunny. I'm really mad that I got a scrape there. I gotta try and clean it off. But man, these are pretty shoe. Got a mark there that I gotta get rid of as well. But no, the Hair 7 is one of my favorite colorways for the Retro 7. And yeah, I mean, minus the blemishes on that shoe specifically, I think this one's I think the left sneaker's a little cleaner. But you know, like I was saying, you can't tell that, you know, these shoes are as old as they are from, you know, like I said, 2008, 2009. And especially with the older sneakers, they did not have the current badge on the tongue of the shoe with the typical Jumpman and whatnot. So as you were able to tell, it showed two dates on the badge, and that was the point in time at which the Hair 7 was released. So between 2007 2008, and then on the inside, probably, oh, you guys can see it pretty well. So every Countdown pack of shoe has a special stitching in there. And yeah, I guess that'll do it for this video. And you know, like I said in the beginning, I was hoping to try to condense these a little. Obviously that didn't work for this video, but in future videos to where I can, you know, focus on one topic. Sometimes I fall behind. We're only human, and I'm just doing this for fun and just to hang out with you guys on here on YouTube and you know, with fellow content creators and this and that. And man, you know, didn't really expect 35 subscribers, especially for the kind of crap I'm just doing. But yeah, that'll do it. So, like I said, guys, I appreciate it definitely. I'm not gonna, be that kind of dude to, you know, like, share, subscribe, and every video, whatever, because that's ultimately up to the viewers. That's ultimately up to the YouTube community, and that's just your way to, let me know how I do, or, drop a comment. Let me know how you're feeling on certain things, or let's get talking in basketball, or even as simple as Jordan shoes. Man, I love talking about stuff like that. But appreciate it once again, everybody. This has been Lindy End Zone, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.